22 million people live here in Sao Paulo, the biggest city in the Americas, biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. I've been living here for several weeks and it really hasn't been exactly what I expected for such a massive city. So today I'll take you through a regular day living here so you can see what it's really like. I like waking up before the city does. I love the feeling of just having the city to myself a little bit. Safety is a big point when you talk about any big city, especially in Latin America. I actually saw someone get robbed out of a car. Presumably the robber was armed because he was a pedestrian. So other than being armed, there was no reason for the driver to open the window and give him what he wanted. So you're not even safe in a car, much less as a pedestrian. As I said, where I live it's safe, but here approaching my gym, it's a little bit sketchy. So I think I'm gonna turn this camera off. Gyms in big cities tend to be super packed, and one of the most unpleasant experiences I have in my privileged and very easy life is having to work out in a really, really busy gym. So this is no different in Sao Paulo, especially SmartFit. I would avoid at absolutely all costs. Nothing wrong with the gym itself, but it's just so beyond packed. Even at 5:30 in the morning, that's when I went to check it out, packed. So I chose a gym that's a little bit further from home, but it's far less busy and has really cool machines actually that I've never seen before. Pollution in big cities like this can be truly awful. So the air quality isn't the best here, but I don't think it's as bad as comparable cities like Mexico City. When I was there, I was training for a marathon and it was really awful. I could really feel the effects. So anecdotally, it hasn't been as bad here. I don't really know why. The pollution isn't as bad, even though the population is about the same. Maybe it's just not as congested. Sao Paulo is the most expensive city in Brazil. I'd put it on par with something like Mexico City. So it's expensive for Latin America, but it isn't expensive compared to cities like Toronto, New York, London. I'll buy a few things today so you can kind of see what things cost here. But for reference, I pay 1,000 USD for this apartment right by Paulista. I've been here for a month and honestly, traffic hasn't been nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I can compare it to significantly smaller cities like Toronto, Medellin, Istanbul, and obviously bigger cities like London and New York, and it's not nearly as bad as those. From what I've seen, the traffic jams tend to be more on the highways or the really main avenues, but just going around, even though I live right in the center of the city, I really don't see that much traffic, not as much as you would expect in such a massive city. I think the reason why is just because it is so spread out. The population is massive, but if you see how vast this city is, it's like it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And so because it is quite spread out, I think that's the reason why you don't see so much traffic just walking around the city on the kind of normal roads, I guess, like the city roads. It's not as crazy as even Toronto, which is a fraction of the population. Since it's a major city, you might think that it's easy to get around with English here, but I don't think that's the case. I haven't tested it out because I'm trying to practice my Portuguese while I'm here. But if I forget a word, I usually just default to Spanish since it's more similar. But from the people that I have spoken to, it doesn't seem like many of them really know English. Even Spanish, there's a lower level of Spanish than you would think, than I think a lot of people would think coming here. Even with younger people, when I compare it to other places like Colombia, Mexico, Morocco, all those countries had a higher level of English compared to Brazil, even for my generation. I want to go to Vivo to get a better phone plan. Basically, when I first got here, I just got the first one that I could get because I just wanted to sort out my data. But it's really way more than I need. It's like 50 gigabytes, so I want to see if I can pay a bit less for that. Well, it's weird because Vivo told me they told me they can't do it, and to go to Claro, and then Claro said to go to Vivo. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I might get CPF because I'm gonna be here for a while. I just haven't bothered with it yet, so we'll see. Every time I look up a route on the metro, it just seems so slow. Like I don't think the city is very well connected by the metro system. And Uber is so cheap that I just use Uber. The other thing is that they make it super difficult for foreigners to get passes aside from just a one-time pass, and having to get a one-time pass each time I want to take the metro, it's like, I don't know, it's just too inconvenient to use in my opinion. And as I said, since Uber is so cheap, it's just not worth it. Maybe when I get the CPF, I'll go and try to figure it out, but as I said, I never even see routes that I want to take very often, so I just haven't been using it. One thing I thought about while I was walking around is catcalling. So that is obviously going to be a part of living in a big city, especially Latin America. You're gonna get catcalled. It's not as bad as, let's say, Morocco. Nothing is as bad as that that I have experienced so far. Of course, I know that there is definitely worse harassment out there, but Latin America is not at that level. I would compare this, honestly, I think it might be a little bit better than Colombia, but it's kind of hard to tell. Generally, I would say it's about the same as the rest of Latin America. Just kind of comments here and there, but again, like it's not harassment Morocco level. It's more just like little comments that honestly, I actually, especially after being in Morocco, I don't mind at all. It's in comparison, everything else is better. One of the best things about living in a big city is that there's just so much to do. You have all of the big events, amazing international restaurants, literally anything that you want to look for, you're going to be able to find. So if you want to go go-karting, if you want to go skating, if you want to go skydiving, find some Korean barbecue, if you want anything. If you want to take a specific kind of dance class, you're going to be able to find anything like that. So today is the last Saturday of June, and I still haven't gone to a Festa Junina. So I really want to check it out and see what it's all about, since this is pretty much the last chance. I did change, as you can see, something a little more casual, because from what I understand, the Festa Junina has something to do with, like, it's country-like. I know that people wear plaid and stuff. I don't have any plaid, so I'm not fully going in theme, but just a little more casual. Maybe I'll switch into, I'll change into some jeans as well to fit in a little bit more over there. But yeah, I'm gonna go check it out, and should be interesting. Before I go and get changed, I also wanted to show you, kind of as I said before, the reason why I don't really take the train. This place is a 30-minute walk away, and it's 28 minutes to get there with public transportation. So it's kind of like, I mean, I would just walk. The only reason I'm not gonna walk is because now it's dark. But yeah, pretty much every time I look up a place, it's almost the same to walk versus to take the public transportation. And this is actually bus. There's actually no route that would work. Or I'm sure there's some route that would somewhat work, but it'd probably be even longer than walking. I never use it. It's a 14-minute drive. I think that's just because there's a little bit of traffic. I saw it was like 9-10 minutes earlier in the day. Yeah, that's why I don't really take the public transportation system. And another reason why I haven't been super motivated to get my CPF is just I'm not going to use it for that either. So to give you reference on the Uber price as well, Uber X, as I said, is a 14-minute drive away. Uber is generally pretty cheap here. I'm gonna guess like 15 reais. Uber X, 18 reais. It does say fares are higher right now because of increased demand, which makes sense, Saturday night. So 18 reais, what is that? It's less than $4 US. So yeah, very good price. Boa noite, Julian.
Boa noite, Isabelle.
É 1770.
770. Vamos para Paróquia da Consolação?
Isso. I had to step out of there to be able to review this food because that place is super, like, unbelievably packed. You can barely walk through. And I found a spot, because this area, it does not seem super safe. I found an area close to police, so hopefully I'm fine here. Not ideal, but we'll try it. So I got the pamonha. There was a girl in line who was telling someone about what pamonha, someone asked what pamonha, she was explaining the pamonha, so I asked her if the savory or the sweet one is better. And she told me she doesn't like either, but she told me to get the sweet. So I went with the sweet since it seems like, well, I got traditional. I'm pretty sure the traditional one is the sweet one. But I asked for it to go, and it's kind of cold, so I wonder if this is something I'm supposed to heat up at home. I really don't know. I forgot. I'm supposed to be showing this. So here it is. It smells like corn. When you open it, it kind of like reminds you of a tamal, I guess. I don't have cutlery here though, so I'm just gonna take a bite into it, which is embarrassing in public because I'm pretty sure you're supposed to eat this with a fork or something. So yeah, let me try to take a bite while no one's looking. Yeah, it's like sweet corn. It kind of tastes like a Like the flavor-wise, it's like a cachapa, but texture is like a tamal, let's say. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be hot or if it's supposed to be cold though. I'm gonna Google that in a second. It's good. I mean, I don't know if it even has anything in it. Because sometimes they're filled with different things. Like I think the savory one has cheese and sometimes some sort of sausage. But the sweet one, I saw online that it has some sort of like sweet, maybe condensed milk or something like that. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look up, is pamonha hot or cold? I had the impression that it was hot for some reason, maybe because it reminds me of a ayaca or tamal. Yeah, it can be served, oh, it's hot, warm, or cold. Okay. It does seem like you're supposed to boil it. I'm honestly confused. I'm just gonna eat it as is. It tastes fine. Maybe it's wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments. My dad told me I should try this, so. Oh, actually I should take a picture of this for him. To let him know that I tried it. Anyway, overall review, I mean, I feel like it tastes exactly like what I expected it to taste like, but I was expecting it to be filled with something, which I could have ordered, I guess. I didn't know, I just went for traditional. It is a dessert though. It's definitely my type. I mean, I like corn-flavored, corn-based foods, I guess. I'm constantly looking around because, as I said, this area is like sort of sketchy. Quite good. I feel like I definitely wouldn't like it savory, assuming that it's still sweet, but it has savory insides. I don't think I would like that too much, but I feel like that would, with the filling, maybe condensed milk or maybe some cheese or something, I feel like it could be good with those things. Anyway, I'm gonna put this camera away before I get robbed. Oi, Ana Cleber, tudo bem? Tudo. I accidentally set the wrong address for the Uber. I was trying to go to the grocery store and it's on the same street, but it's a kilometer away, so a little more than a kilometer away, but I'm just gonna walk over to the other one. This one doesn't have the stuff that I'm looking for. So yeah, I haven't been to this area, but it doesn't look awful and there's a lot of movement, so honestly I don't have anything super valuable, so I'm cool with getting robbed here. Here is Paulista at night. It's kind of dead, to be honest. I guess people go to other places. Because yeah, this is actually completely dead, like surprisingly dead. It seems like there's another Festa Junina over here. Now I wish I went to that one because this is way closer to home, but this is what it is. So this has been a pretty normal day for me living in one of the biggest cities in the world. Probably not as hectic as you thought it would be. There's a man walking behind me, kind of scared me. Anyway, I'm gonna go home, enjoy my evening mango, and I'll see you for many more videos here in Sao Paulo. I'm here for many more months. If you do want to see a video in Sao Paulo, I'll pop a couple up on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.